The numbers in our housing market are ever changing, so it's so important to stay on top of those changes. With Market Insights, we bring you the stats, facts, and figures to keep you and your clients informed. Join us now.
Good morning, real estate agents, buyer, seller agents in Arizona. Scott Kiburz with the February 2024 Market Insights on behalf of Landmark Title. Let's begin. Our agenda includes a national look at things, some headlines, some things that just came out yesterday, and obviously the numbers in Maricopa County and down into individual cities. Next, please, Sarah. Let's begin with some fast facts in Maricopa County for the month of January going into today, February 1st. So as of this morning, in Maricopa County, we have 11,701 active listings. Of those, 8,014 are single family, 915 townhome, 888 condos, and manufactured homes up to 809. We close a few less, 3,553 closed units, and our absorption rate has gone from in the mid to low 30s to the high 27.55%. Coming soon is at 611. Interest rates still holding 6.12 to 7%. Our average sale price is currently $565,000 per home in Maricopa County. Sarah, let's continue. Just a quick overview for the COVID period of time. This is a NAR headline graph by state. Want to point out that Arizona was certainly high in the list at a 58% increase in value in the just about 3 full year period of time. And then also, technically that'd be 4. And then also that the state of Maine was the leader at 64.9% increase in home value. Obviously, the West Coast homes were in the high 30s, but as they jumped just into the interior of the West, into Montana, Wyoming, Nevada, Colorado, Utah, we had some really significant gains in a short period of time. That's a great visual for everybody. Next slide, please. Also, just want to give a forecast on behalf of the National Association of Realtors. When you look at 2023 F, that's forecasted. This graph was from October of last year, and they were forecasting sub 4 million transactions for the year, and that's going to be up about 13% forecasted for 2024, and new home sales up 19% for 2024. They're anticipating over 5 million home transactions total for the year 2024. Next, please. Just a mental data point on the benefits of home ownership versus renting and the difference of 2019 to 2022 in terms of your wealth building, from 7,300 as a renter in 2019 to 10,400 in 2022. And obviously home ownership, average wealth owner there, just under 300,000 to just under 400,000. The benefits of owning a home. Next, please. For the 30-year fixed rate, many people in late 2022 forecasted we'd be in the high 5% by Q4 of last year, late 2023. Obviously, that didn't happen, and all major economists said we got it wrong. This is what they're forecasting now nationally for the year 2024, an average of 6.3% interest rate, and the Fed plans to cut interest rates a couple times here coming up, but they did not cut them yet. They were contemplating that, but they did not cut them yet. Next, please. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an economic outlook for January of 2024. This is a more of an atomic level detail graph for the super geeky number people like me who want to just look at key indicators. So I sliced this data a couple different ways. I looked at the U.S. economy, housing indicators, and it's going to tell you by quarter what historically has happened and what the forecast has happened. So glean through that in terms of unemployment, single family units, new homes, existing homes, great data to have and what they're forecasting for 2024. And if we go to the next slide, please. A couple more indicators here on mortgage rates, housing indicators, and median home prices. And new home prices at the end of 2024 are supposed to average 449,000, and existing home prices on average, this is again nationally, $407,000 on average. We, of course, are already in the 556 range, so we're on the top end of that median level. Next, please. Ladies and gentlemen, just some history. Ladies and gentlemen, our news cycle seems to come and go so quickly, but just again, so everybody's up to date, earlier in January, Tracy Casper, who was supposed to be our 2024 NAR president, resigned due to blackmail threats. And the picture of the gentleman just above her, he came in obviously early. His name is Kevin Sears. I believe he's out of Virginia. He's a 30-year realtor in residential and property management. I've had the privilege of meeting him in the past. He's a very nice man, and please know he gets things done. So thrilled to have him in the wheelhouse there, and I hope we get some keen stability at the NAR volunteer level as well as the NAR director employee level. Next, please. Speaking of NAR CEOs, this graph was put out just yesterday from Nakia Wright is her last name. She's the new NAR CEO, replacing Bob Goldberg. There's a hot link in the bottom there, the www NAR Realtor. She's got a 1.5-minute video about record straight on commissions. And so, ladies and gentlemen, please take a 1.5 minutes to watch that live. It just came out yesterday. It's got conviction, it's got purpose, and it looks like NAR is beginning to take a stand on behalf of all of us. Next, please. John Burns, top 50 master plan communities. This is noteworthy here. Bella Vista Farms is in the Santan area in the far Southeast Valley. It finished number 38 in the top 50 of master plan communities in the nation. It's the only one in Arizona that made the top 50 list. Note that a lot of the top 50 has to do with the number of homes closed in that subdivision. And I believe they sold 85 units in 2023 that got them on the list. Next, please. Also, this is interesting. This came out mid-January that NAR, Home Service America, and KW seek not to appeal their verdict. They seek a whole new trial. And so please know, behind the scenes, the influences on a real estate market have to do with government, the economy, technology, politics. This is having an impact. If we could get a whole new trial and start again and possibly collect all these copycat lawsuits, it's north of 20 now, and get some stability back into our industry and our belief and our agents, that would be a good thing. These two companies plus NAR are out front trying to make it happen for us. Next, please. Just the numbers. For those that like to look at the trends and kind of see things as they come forward, I always love filling in these blanks on this graph. Total actives in ARMLS, 15,528. Now, of that 15,000, total actives in Maricopa County, 11,707. Know this, ladies and gentlemen, about 72 to 74% of all the listings in the Arizona Regional MLS are in Maricopa County. About another 15, 18% of those are in Pinal County, and the balance could be anywhere in the state, from the White Mountains and Flagstaff and Tucson and everywhere else. So please know, as I look at the bellwethers personally, I always look at Maricopa County first, and then inside of Maricopa County, I look at the total single family, 8,814 units in Maricopa County that are single family. That's the bellwether for me. Townhomes are at 915, condos 888, like I mentioned in Fast Facts. Let's look quickly at pending at 3629. Ladies and gentlemen, we haven't had that big a number in quite some time, going back for the last 3 to 5 quarters. So we're definitely going to have a better closing month in February. Total sold for the month of January, 4384, Maricopa County, 3553. And then total single family sold a low that it's been in a long time. These would probably be written up in December, close in January, just 28.20. So we got a couple more graphs to illustrate the growth and the relaunch of our market. Usually happens the second Tuesday in January, and between mid-January and end of April, early May is our biggest selling and buying season in Maricopa County. Next slide. Looking at some simple math, when we hit some of our lowest inventory, we had an average of 26 listings per zip code of the 153 primary zip codes in Maricopa County. We are up to 76 listings. We're 11,684 when we pulled this report, which works out to right at 76 doors per zip code. That's condo, single family, townhome, all of it, 76 listings per zip code. Next, please. Okay, so great visual here for people wanting to know the market. Summary page from the Rapid Stat report of ARMLS. 11,582 active listings, sold 3,191, and under contract, a much higher number, 6,146. If you look at the bottom left in the red and the blue dotted lines, the median and average sale price have been following one another pretty similarly since June, July of 2022. And that's running in the high 97, 98, approaching 99% of sold to list price. My compliment to listing agents is they're getting the houses listed correctly and then sold to list price. There's a number out there. It's somewhere around $8,000 to $10,000 of seller allowances that are happening, seller contributions that are happening on average. And that's happening in about 47 to 52% of the transactions where sellers making some kind of contribution. When we look at the bottom right graph of median and average sale price in a vertical, please know we're averaging just right at $5 more per square foot on the average sale price from December going into the end of January. Next, please. We slipped a little bit in terms of absorption rate. Our absorption rate went from the 33% to the 27.55%. And our month of supply went from in the 2+ months into the 3.6 months as of this morning on the 1st. Next, please. Okay, so when we look at Maricopa County and Pinal County combined, and we combine that and we do a summary graph, what I like to point out is our active listings are down 2.5% for all that vast area. In the yellow, the median sales price is up 5.6%. Just take all that massive piece of land, Maricopa, Pinal County, that we have influence on, and we're at 5.6% from where we were a year ago, February 1st. I like to point this out, ladies and gentlemen, because once again, from 100+ years ago, when you follow the Case-Shiller report, home prices go up an average of 2% per year, year after year after year, decade after decade. We're already back to a 5.6% increase from just a year ago, February 1st. Next, please. In this graph, I separated these two out and looked at Maricopa County is up 6.6, while Pinal County is up 4.4. And in the yellow, just a little bit further, ladies and gentlemen, it's a $67, $68 delta per square foot average between the two counties. And that's significant. I just want to point that out, that some reports look at everything together and that aggregates that number down. We've separated it here. And then I've got a couple more 5 or 6 graphs of what's happening in the market that we're about to engage with. Please, Sarah. Okay, in Maricopa County primary, please know this. What I would like you to focus on in the green arrows is under contract is 6,146. Compared to a month ago, ladies and gentlemen, that's up 55%, 35% in the last 3 months. We've had an uptick for sure. Sold listings, 3,191. Now that's down 16% from where we were a month ago and down 20% from 3 months. When we look at this overall graph, this is all of Maricopa County. Please know our new builds equal not quite 10% of our market. Normal sales are, again, north of 80. We still have a fix and flip market that's happening in certain parts of our metro and others as well. Ladies and gentlemen, some remote areas on the peripheral where there's plenty of land for development, Santan, Buckeye, parts of Mesa, their Tonopah, Tolleson, their new build market is north of 40, sometimes 60% of what they're selling monthly. That's bringing our average up to 10%. Your individual community, like Tempe, very small percent new home sales in that community, landlocked and locked in. Next, please. Here we go with some key graphs. What I'd like to point out here is this is active listings for February 1st, 11,582. And that's about what we had in November. That's pretty similar. But if you jump back to January of 2023, we had about that same number. We had right at 11,100. And so when you look just in the middle of the graph and then go and you see the lull, the trough at the bottom, we were burning off that inventory. And there were a lot of people on the sidelines due to interest rates. Like it's a phrase Sarah was just using, we're going to pause, we're going to wait it out. As a percent, there were people that did that. It looks like interest rates are going to hold in the low 60s between now and the end of this calendar year. That is going to be our new normal, and people are going to have to wrap their head around that if they want to list their home and move on or downsize and or acquire a new home. Next slide, please. Under contract, what a difference 30 days makes. From December to January, we spiked, boom, to 6146. If you just go back one full year, those two graphs, those two trough and then launch are very similar. The difference this year is our interest rates are not approaching 8. They're approaching the mid to low 6s. And that we sense will carry on the number of transactions for this calendar year. A lot of people are forecasting significantly north of 5 million transactions in our nation this year. Next, please. As we move into closed, looking at the end of January, again, low month. The other low that we had was January a year ago. So it's not a surprise. It just is slightly lower than where we were this time last year. As we pull forward to the next slide, Sarah. Here we go with new listings. And again, this is a mirror image. December 2023 to January 2024, we had a spike of north of 8,500. When we look at December of 2022 to January of 2023, we're about 1,300 more doors that got listed this last 30 days. And I think that is an indicator of just slightly lower interest rates, getting used to that interest rate. We have an election year, some other things are happening. One more data point, ladies and gentlemen, a graph. I don't have a copy of it here, but there was a graph that said, hey, our top 5 states for home sales in 2024, California, Florida, Texas, 1, 2, 3, in whichever order. 4 was one of the 2 Carolinas. Number 5 was Arizona. Now, knowing that 70+% of the annual transactions happen in Maricopa County, and know that we're considered to be number 5 in the nation for the year, we're going to be busy, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you got your track shoes on, you got all your systems in place, your leverage in place, and you're going. Next, please. Cancel listings. I included this, ladies and gentlemen, because wanted to illustrate not a big number, 1,000 doors. The people that were, the run rate of cancels really didn't change in the last 6 months. Wasn't too high, wasn't too low. Next slide, please. As we look at expireds, we know the spike that you see at 7, 8, 9 on the right, that is typical of December. We have the biggest expired listings, most listings that expire December 31st. Go to the middle of the graph, December of 2022, you see the highest spike, 1435. And that too wasn't even a surprise to us at that point. We normally see the most expired listings happen December 31st. We had about half of that this year, and we're at the lowest we've been in a long time of expired listings. Ladies and gentlemen, the people that have their property listed are being purposeful. They've been in this world of a higher interest rate for north of a year, year and a half. They have great expectations. They're purposeful. They want to sell, and we just got to find the right buyer to buy. So the number of expireds are almost at an all-time low, definitely in the last 18 months. Next, please. Temporary off the market. Same message to you, ladies and gentlemen. For those people that pause, It wasn't a great pause during the Christmas break. The people that have their homes listed are purposeful and going. Next. Here we go with the various cities from A to T. I believe there's 26 primary and secondary cities that we have two graphs on. I'm going to point out just a couple of these, starting with Apache Junction. Again, just a reminder of how to read this graph in the various colors. Active listings in Apache Junction are up 38% from where we were a year ago. In the yellow, the median sale price is up 13%, not 2, not 6 like the rest of Maricopa County, but 13% in Apache Junction. They do have a lot of new home sales in their market. Next slide, Sarah. And this is reflective here. It's 17.6% versus 9.5% for all of Maricopa County aggregated together. What I want to point out on this graph, if you look at the blue numerics, the middle of the page, under contract, 129, that's up almost 80% from last month. Big number. People are busy. But in addition to that, there's more homes coming to market. In the second row, new listings, 160. So it's very purposeful, 77% of increase compared to a month ago. Ladies and gentlemen, people have fired the gun in terms of a starter gun at a track meet, and they're purposeful about moving homes right now. Next, please. As we look at the second city on the west side, Avondale, their active listings are up 10%. Their median sale price is up 6%. I want to go to the next slide, Sarah. Looking at this market, they too, new builds 19%. Their under contract is at 96%. But their new homes coming onto the market are just 107, not as big as Apache Junction. So that's going to put pressure on pricing and less negotiation on behalf of the seller. And just 70% of their homes are normal existing homes. As we then go through the rest of these cities, Sarah, and I'm just going to let you click through these for the rest of the video, I'm just going to make some general comments to the audience here. There are 5 or 6 communities that have a lot of new homes being built. There's a lot of energy there. There's a lot of energy nationally around built to rent. We're starting to call that BTR. You're going to see those initials more and more, built to rent. They're creating school districts and everything around that type of home and that type of lifestyle. So that is coming. New home construction are getting smaller with higher end features and more technology. That's a given. As we look at the rest of our metro, we still have so many great indicators coming from freeways, from infrastructure. We're getting our water figured out. I realize we have hot summers. I realize that. That's a given. But ladies and gentlemen, we're not having to deal with earthquakes. We're not having to deal with hurricanes, tornadoes, and we're not having to deal with a brutal cold winter. Boy, we've talked to some people who are just frigid, frozen cold in for days and days in the Midwest. So there's a lot of reasons to be a homeowner in Arizona. As always, ladies and gentlemen, Landmark Title does a great job. If they can be of service to you, please give them a chance. If you use them, thank you in advance. We're proud to deliver these numbers to you on a monthly basis and have a purposeful impact. That's all for today. Have a great February 2024. Bye now.
Thank you for watching. Join us every month on Market Insights to be the realtor in the know.